some tips on taking the AP Language and Composition multiple choice exam. So the exam itself is anywhere from 45 to 60 questions, and you'll receive 3 to 4 pieces of text. So on average, each piece of text that you have to read will be around 15 questions. So what that leaves you with is on average a minute per question, so you have to read pretty quickly, and you don't really have a lot of time to go back and read the text or go over your work. So this exam really tests your skills and abilities, and you have to be able to answer questions. You have to be able to answer questions quickly. So another thing that's beneficial to you on the exam is if you underline key spots in the passage that are main parts of focus. So if you find a word that maybe represents a theme or a paragraph that you want to maybe look over really quickly again, you should underline or make a note to go back to that. Other people find it beneficial to read the questions before they actually read the text. As there are 15, you obviously won't have time to read all of the questions, but if you want to read 1 or 2 before you actually read the text, it may be beneficial so you can kind of see what you're looking for and have an idea of what they're going to ask. Another thing is you want to make sure that you only double check or go over previous answers after you finish the exam. If you go over your answers and second guess yourself throughout the exam, you're going to run out of time and you won't have the ability to get a high score. So basically you just need to be able to read the text until you have a good understanding of what it's trying to represent. You don't want to be able to go back and have to reread the text multiple times.
Now we're going to look at some of the sample questions that you would see on the test. If you look at question 8, it's asking what the word means in the context of the sentence. So it's really important to go back and look at the text a lot and underline things when you're reading through it so you can quickly check back on the text for things like this and just narrow it down to the correct answer. And vocab's important too, because if you know what the word means, then it's a lot easier to figure out contextually what it means. And then if you look at question 10, it talks about the tone of the statement, and you just have to check back to the text and know what the different tone words mean. So again, you need to know the vocab so you can figure out what the author's trying to portray in the sentence. And question 11 is asking about rhetorical devices. So from your essays, you should already kind of know what the rhetorical devices are, and that applies to these questions, so you can kind of figure out from the sentence which rhetorical device is being used. And then if you look at question 42, you just have to look back and try to see what the purpose of the sentence is and what the author is trying to do with it. Kind of see what structure the sentence is and what it's trying to make the reader think. And it's just really important to keep checking back to the text so you can narrow down the answers and find the one that fits the best.
Overall, the best piece of advice for the multiple choice part of the exam is just that you have to take it multiple times, and throughout the year you'll improve on different sections. So after you've taken the multiple choice practice exam multiple times, you can see where your weaknesses are, whether it's the rhetorical theme or the rhetorical purpose of the author throughout the passage, or whether it's the theme of the passage. You'll see the different questions that you're struggling on, and you'll be able to work on those. So overall, just the more you take the test, the better you should do on the actual exam.
And when you're taking the multiple choice, you need to remember to keep the time in mind so you don't go too slow and then don't answer questions at the end, because it's important just to make sure you have a guess for all of the questions. And also when you're preparing for the exam, knowing the vocab and the rhetorical devices is really important, because it really helps you narrow down the choices and get the right answer.
A good thing to keep in mind is it's not like the SAT, so you won't lose any points for guessing on something. So you really want to make sure that you have an answer for all the multiple choice questions.